I'm Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and today I want to talk to you about being pissed off about hardcore and casual games. But first, it's time for me to, manage the barbecue here. This is Barbecuing with Marky episode, and so I've got here this thing of corn, which I'm going to dump out most of the water here, and then I've soaked this for about 15 minutes, this corn. Full husk, pulled the tops off, and now I'm going to just throw it on the grill. Grill it up. Just like it is. It's going to be so good, it's going to like steam inside here. And it will absorb some of the smoke flavor and everything, because it's a convection smoker. Okay, now that I got that on there. So, anyway, be right back with the question. Okay, I'm back. So, I forgot a fork. I need to bring out a fork and the plates for when the food's ready. So I had to go and get it instead of making you wait, Okay, so this is from Travis. He says, my name is Travis. And then he says, I am 36 and I have been gaming most of my whole life. Yes, I owned a Telestar from 1979. I am sending you this in the hopes that you'll consider making it a video and starting a debate. Well, we'll see. So, he has this opinion about hardcore versus casual gamers. This says, the fact of the matter remains that games today are not hard enough. Developers continue to underestimate the player and at the same time spoon feed generations of lazy gamers. One of the things that no one can deny is that since UO, they have progressively gotten easier and easier. And it sucks, like it or not. If you play a game every day that you are considered a core gamer, this excuse is people get handed everything because they don't have the time. That's baloney. He didn't use that word. Let's see, he says that they make up a very small percentage of the gamers nowadays, especially PC gamers. He's sick and tired of paying $60 to $80 to keep my PC up to date for easy and lazy games that barely challenge me. I had a small conversation with Richard Garriott and expressed my concern to him about it's time to take into consideration reminding him that UO's success was based off of pitfalls and challenges around every corner, something that we lack in today's video game market. Oh hell yeah. Care Bear Land, Panda Land, come on. And I can say that, playing War Z, that is one of the things I love about it, is that it is so hard, and that there's so little known about it, about how to do things, and that it's such a survival game and everything. And that's, what? I talked about this before, that was one of the magical things about Ultima Online, is that we didn't know anything, and it was all so new to us, and we had to figure all these things out. And that's true with War Z. So if you're looking for that, War Z is really good to get into right now. Who knows what it'll be in a year, if it'll be Candyland or whatever, but, Okay. I want to be clear here. I understand in-game content is in big raids, and World of Warcraft, for example, is in fact challenging. He's been there. There are games that have that and get it. And what he's saying is that at the very end of the game, he doesn't want to finally find it. He wants to keep going. Why is it so easy to level to max? Crafting, skill to max, PvP all the way to the best gear. I will tell you, because game developer companies stop caring about the people that play the games, and it's like a drug feeding them content, and they don't want them to get too easily discouraged. The results, generations of lazy gamers that feel that they should not have to work for anything. Unfortunately, it's all about the money today, and it shows. You know what? You are right on so many levels. That you know, a lot of the game companies will make something just hard enough to attract the most amount of players to buy their game. And that is unfortunate, because you know what you need is you need a game that really feeds a particular group to be an awesome experience instead of just a good experience. You know, maybe that makes it a niche game and the big game publishers won't ever do that. And maybe that's why War Z has such an attraction to me, because it is so nichey. And it's just like Daisy. They're very similar games. And it is so very nichey. And so they'll never attain the full mass market, you know, unless they make it easier. Because there's so many people that wouldn't permit themselves to be player killed by someone else and consider that to be fun. I love it. So I can't stand it. I get really upset every time I get killed, but you know what? I like the challenge. You know, Ultima Online, you know, in the first couple years, they had just one world, and then they split it into Felucia and Trammel. And when they did that, they actually, what they did that because there were so many people that were complaining about what it was that was, you know, being, you know, that they didn't like how hard it was, and it was too hard, and they were whining and everything. You know, shut the hell up, guys. You know, I don't want you ruining my gameplay experience because you think it's too hard. Go away. Go find a different game. And that's exactly, you know, this is my opinion, but that is exactly why the game companies pander to them. You know, Ultima Online tried to do something. They made Siege Perilous. And it was a pre-Trammel Felucia split, and it was just the Felucia side. They didn't have the Trammel side, and it was much more hardcore. It was considered to be a hardcore shard, is what they called it. Instead of servers, they called them shards. And the little history behind that, of why they called them shards, is because if you were to break a crystal into a whole bunch of pieces, you could see the same thing. Whenever you looked through them, you'd see the same thing on each thing, and they each represented a server. And so they're all the same thing, but they're each their unique view on it, because each shard, when broken, is just a little bit different. It's still made of the same material, it's still the same thing, but when you look through it, it changes your view just slightly, but it's always of the same thing. And so it's very clever on naming them shards. So I am, well, let me check the food. Let's see how it's doing. Okay, it is time to turn these. Woo. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're stuck. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that looks good. Hey, in fact, here, let me zoom in on that for you, and you can see what it is I'm doing here. So, this right here, Trigger Grill, I decided that, you know, I found out that you can buy these online. You can buy them on Amazon. And I didn't know that. So there's a link in the description to Trigger stuff, because these grills are so awesome. I just love my Trigger Grill. Now, they're very expensive, and these days I wouldn't be able to afford one. I just don't make the money like I used to. This is from my old life, you could say. And these days I just don't make the same kind of money I used to. So anyway, now I'm gonna put some seasonings on here. Woo, it's hot. Cooking my arm doing that. This is convection smoker. It doesn't have direct flame, and so it doesn't burn the stuff typically. I mean, I could leave it in here and I could overcook it, but it's just like an oven, except everything comes out tasting like mesquite or cherry or hickory, depending on whatever it is that that you're using. So this stuff is looking good. All right, so now I got my corn here, And this is corn on the cob. I got to turn it occasionally. I soaked the corn for 10 minutes, 15 minutes in water, and then I put it in here to cook at the same time as the chicken. So, anyway, I love my grill, and you know, obviously you guys are able to hear me okay even with the noise of the grill. I know it's a little bit annoying, but you know, why not kill two birds with one stone? That's the way I look at it. So, Ultima Online had it right on making this other shard in an attempt to try and appease the people who still wanted the hardcore. And, you know, but overall, it became a desert. Siege Perilous was left with just hardcore players, and all of them typically were player killers. So it wasn't the greatest experience because it was really a lot of mayhem, and not what Ultima Online was in the very beginning. So because you had a lot of kind and gentle players that played it as well, but they all knew the risks. Now War Z, I've been playing that, and the risk is enormous. I mean, you guys have seen my videos on War Z, and in the first part of the playlist, or the first episodes of the show, I had an enormous number of times that I got player killed, and damn, it pissed me off. But you know what? That whole struggle and everything makes for a stronger play experience. And you know, sure, I could have given up, but you know what? I'm really enjoying it. And in fact, I'm not an evil person myself, but I finally decided, I went through kind of the struggle, and if you watch me talking through these videos about this, I went through this internal struggle with myself about being a player killer, and how it's not really my play style, but in this instance, it is kill or be killed. And so that was something new to me and everything, but it is something that was necessary, and I've adapted and I've figured things out, and I've become a much stronger player because of it. Now I hope that you know, there's a lot of things that have been happening in War Z where they are changing things to make it not so disagreeable to a lot of the players who can't stand being killed so often. And their response has been that you really should travel in groups and you really should play with other people. I've been playing as a loner. I've been playing all by myself for the most part. And there is safety in numbers. In fact, today I was I found there was these 4 players that were playing together, and I saw them at the airplane wreckage, the huge jumbo jet that was crashed, and it was really fun to see them all out there. And I was way back, and I had a M16, which is not a sharpshooter thing, but it is a pretty good weapon. And it basically, it had, it was, for the most part, I started shooting at them, seeing whether or not I could actually, hit any of them. And oh my god, you should have seen them scatter and running all over the place when I started shooting and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And so that's part of the risk for them too, is that they could get sniped and everything, and I was certainly willing to do it. I was just out there having fun. I was playing on my character that is a hardcore PK, that he'll kill anybody he comes across, just because that's the way I play him. I have another character, my Marquis Dragon character, which will give people the benefit of the doubt and won't kill people unless cornered. But anyway, back to the hardcore versus casual. I think that it is, it's sad that that has to happen, but it is about following the money. And, you know, I encourage game publishers, you know, especially the independent guys, to make as niche of an experience as possible and without going totally mass market. I know you can make so much more money mass market, but you know what? Us players who love the game, who love your games, that if you keep it more niche-y, we're gonna stay with you longer. I'm gonna be playing this one for quite a long time, I think, unless they dumb it down. And when they dumb it down, make it easier, remove the barriers, is when I will probably start playing less, and I'll go on to another game. And they will have made their money from me, but you know, like in War Z, they do have a cash shop, and I'll partake in the cash shop as long as I feel like I'm still getting value out of the game. But you know, so that's their incentive to keep the game going. But it is an economics thing, and I totally get that. I just wish that the economics were in the best interest of the players. Wouldn't that be grand if it were that way? So anyway, thanks for your question, Travis. I do appreciate it. I don't think that we're ever going to have that feeling that we have at the beginning of a game when we're a couple years into it. And part of the reason for that is that it is actually it is actually an experience type of thing to where you get more familiar with it too, and so it seems easier. So there's a bit of both. Anyway, thank you for the great question. If you have questions, feel free to send them to me in YouTube, or look for our live shows where you can ask one of me live on the air. And so, next up, good food. I'm hungry. It's dinner time. Got to pull this food off the grill soon. I'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so let me show you how to tell when the corn is done. And the chicken is done. I actually cut a couple of pieces in half and put them on the grill there. Now, I'm going to take one of those pieces of corn, and I don't know if I can get this zoomed in far enough here. I'm going to put it right on the plate there, and see what we can do here. Okay, so I'm going to grab a piece of corn here, and I'm going to take this one. You got to be really careful with it because it's really hot, of course. Pull back to see the corn, and then you take a fork and you just stab it just slightly. And if they pop and they're juicy, it's done cooking. That's how you tell when the corn is done. So, the corn is done. Okay. So, it's been great. Look at that, right at sunset. How's that? And dinner is ready. So, check it out. Let's see here. Take a look at this. Now I happen to like my chicken just a little bit more done than everybody else, so I end up, I cut mine in half like this. It also is a good indication of whether or not we got everything done all the way through. I'll take the two thickest pieces, I cut them in half like that, and then I know it's all done. So anyway, that is Marky's chicken. Doesn't that look good? Now, time for dinner. See y'all later. If you made it this far in the video, you may as well subscribe. That's what I want you to do. You obviously liked it well enough to watch it this far. So look at this. This is Frostmourne. This is a Runes of Magic sword. This Runes of Magic sword is one that we're giving away as second prize to one of you subscribers, just for being subscribed. That's all you have to do. Subscribe and accept our messages, or watch our videos where we draw for prizes. So this one is it's a really nice sword. It's signed by some of the American staff for Runes of Magic. And then there's the big boy here. I got it on my shoulder because it's so darn heavy. You know, the sucker is 16 pounds. Look at this. So it's a two-handed sword here, man. This is a beautiful sword. And we're giving this away when we hit 42,500 subscribers. It could be you. So just subscribe. That's all you have to do. We'll do videos selecting the winners, and we'll send you a message in YouTube as long as you accept it. Just make sure you accept messages from us. To do that, put us on your contact list. And you just add Marky Dragon to your contact list, and then you'll be able to get messages from us, and you'll have 30 days to get back to us when we send you a message. Or if we can't message you, you'll just be on video, and you just gotta watch the video and then contact us. So anyway, if you made it this far, you really should subscribe. And I would appreciate it. So, anyway, that's all.